Good morning, everybody. We had a lot of fireworks last night. Krystal, what's on the show today?
Absolutely. We're looking at what happened last night, what's going to happen tonight, who is winning the battle for the heart and soul of the Democratic Party. We'll explain all that today on Rising.
All right, Krystal, what is on your radar after that debate?
Well, if there is a war on for the heart and soul of the Democratic Party, which I believe that there is, last night the Bernie-Warren AOC wing of the party won a significant victory. It really wasn't even close. The moderators appear to have arrived to the debate with two main goals in mind. Number one, get Bernie and Warren to fight on that count. Of course, they failed miserably, as we predicted they would yesterday. And two, to get the centrists to attack Bernie and Warren. Delaney, Hickenlooper, Tim Ryan, Steve Bullock, and Amy Klobuchar were more than happy to take the bait on that one. They seemed much more concerned about their fellow Democrats than the existential threat represented by Trumpism. On healthcare, on immigration, on climate change, on taxes, these centrists injected Republican criticisms of Democratic policies into the debate and worshipped at the altar of incrementalism. But, of course, the progressives were not having it. For example, here is Tim Ryan getting the business end of an exchange with Senator Sanders on how union members would fare under Medicare for All.
Medicare for All is comprehensive. It covers all health care needs for senior citizens. It will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know
Second of all.
You don't know that,
Second
Bernie.
of all.
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know, and I wrote the damn bill.
I wrote the damn bill. Sanders and Warren were actually an incredible tag team defending Medicare for All specifically and other issues as well. I only wish that they were able to dunk on Biden directly on the issue rather than his weak centrist proxies. Sanders, Warren, and even Marianne Williamson all directly called the centrist out on their small thinking and Paul Ryan-esque talking points. Here's Elizabeth Warren reminding John Delaney that we are supposed to be the party of yes, we can, not inconceivable. And Marianne Williamson expressing confusion at the political party some of these candidates were trying to represent.
I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
I almost wonder why you're Democrats. You seem to think there's something wrong about using the instruments of government to help people.
But maybe my favorite moments of the debate came when all those aforementioned centrists, all of whom, by the way, are polling at 1% or less, lectured the top polling progressives on electability. For some reason, it is taken as an absolute article of faith among those centrists, and many pundits too, that Bernie is unelectable, even though virtually every poll shows him defeating Donald Trump. Even though, as we discussed yesterday, his strongest appeal is among the multiracial working class, the young folks, and the Latinos who we need most to show up in strength on Election Day. And even though he has notched his strongest electoral performances in some of the most critical battleground states. Bernie, of course, was having none of it.
Every credible poll that I have seen has me beating Donald Trump, including the battleground states of Michigan, where I won the Democratic primary, Wisconsin, where I won the Democratic primary, and Pennsylvania. And the reason we are going to defeat Trump and beat him badly is that he is a fraud and a phony, and we're going to expose him for what he is.
So ultimately, who won the debate? Well, here's what I'd say. The winners were everyone who believes that healthcare is a human right, who believe that immigrants are humans and not criminals, and that our politics should be driven by the needs of the people instead of the needs of Purdue Pharma. Pretty interesting night. I mean, the centrists clearly came, as we expected, loaded for bear. This was kind of their last chance to escape the dustbin of history, and it made for some interesting content.
It's more interesting in terms of the Overton window on how much it has shifted. And it's interesting more to see Hickenlooper and Delaney kind of doing the last straws. It reminds me a lot of Jim Webb on the stage with Hillary Clinton, and really grasping for that more of a white working class appeal within the Democratic Party, which is largely gone except for with Bernie Sanders. And that's something that I found very interesting, which is...
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I think the idea that like Hickenlooper would be the person to win back the white working class
he wouldn't
is
be.
insane.
Right, and neither would Jim
Bernie
Webb,
Sanders
but it was
does
more-
better than the white working class than almost anyone else on the stage.
Absolutely. And for me, it was more about a warning, like a siren song of something that totally unelectable. He'll never make it through a Democratic primary. But it's something that we might go back and look at and be like, oh, well, maybe he had a point. But broadly within a Democratic electorate, look, Medicare for All is what, 65% most popular amongst registered Democratic voters. It is the signature proposal. And from that perspective, the progressives won the entire night.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm anxious to see, and you've been saying this, Warren and Sanders on a stage with Biden.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the real
That's the
matchup.
clash that we all actually want to see. It's annoyed me greatly that we can't just get Warren and Sanders and Joe Biden and maybe Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris in there, even though they kind of all represent the same thing. That is the clash that I want to see.
Yeah.
The actual where we're going. I mean, Joe Biden, a stark, no Medicare for all public option,
Right.
and an actual electable, pollable candidate alongside Bernie Sanders. That is what America needs to see.
Absolutely.